hours on your way to work or in the office. Tune in now and listen live.
Woman of Promise is back. The Grand Reset with our new host, Renata Singh.
Hey, it's your girl Renata, and you can join me and my special guests every Tuesday from 12:15 to 1 p.m. as we touch on issues that impact women of all ages, from knowing your worth and identity in Christ, fostering godly relationships, beauty, fashion, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and more. And of course, we bring a biblical perspective to every discussion.
It's Woman of Promise, the Grand Reset, every Tuesday from 12:15 to 1 p.m. on Isaac 98.1 FM. Woman of Promise is sponsored by Acropolis Medical Center, Furniture Plus, and Extra Foods.
Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to Women of Promise. I'm your host, Renata Singh, a television producer and entrepreneur. Passion is about using the media to bring hope and transformation to our nation. But more than anything, I'm a woman just like you, walking through life's challenges and learning how to stand in faith and purpose. Last week, we spoke about some practical steps you can take towards healthy living, and today we're zoning in a bit to unpack the importance of self-care. While we like to think that we take care of ourselves, and boy, sometimes I like to think I take care of myself, but when you have conversations like this, you realize, oh, I probably don't do such a good job at this. And interestingly, I came across a survey that said that 32% of women consistently make time for self-care, while 39% of men do the same. Now, that was absolutely mind-blowing to me, because in my own small little world, I would like to think that women prioritize something like self-care more than men. But here we are seeing surveys saying otherwise, right? So we're here to unpack this conversation, and joining me today is a very special guest, Dr. Meagan Mohammed. Welcome, Doctor.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here. First time on Isaac 98.1.
Hopefully first time of many.
Yeah.
So, self-care. What pops into your mind when you hear the word self-care?
Honestly, I think of the girl's dream when it comes to being able to pamper yourself, right? But that's not practical. I think about a spa. I think about, a massage.
Yes, exactly.
A face mask. But the reality is, those things are expensive. And also, life happens, and we don't think about actually prioritizing ourselves. Especially as women, we often prioritize everyone else around us and forget about ourselves. And so, I think that constant reminders of taking care of ourselves in many different ways is really important.
And like you said, our ideal vision of what self-care looks like, it's not always practical for a number of reasons.
Yeah.
When you have a family to take care of, when you have, we're living in a rat race. It's not, I don't like to say that, but it's the reality for many women, right? And so it's not also financially practical as well for many. So, conversations like this need to happen. And I think we're going to zone in a bit more to kind of challenge almost that ideal picture we have in our mind of what self-care looks like. Because
Absolutely.
it's so much more than just going to the spa, taking that time off. And those things are important, 100%. But I think specifically with your field, being in the medical field, you have quite a very unique perspective on what self-care looks like from that end.
Yeah.
Could you unpack that a bit more for us? What does that look like from a medical perspective?
Yeah, when I was approached about this topic, I thought immediately, would you ever think that going to the doctor or making sure that you're up to date with certain health things is a form of self-care? Would you ever think that?
No.
Probably not, right? Generally, we don't think about those things. But making sure that you actually know what's going on with your body is a great way to make sure that you take care of yourself. Because, of course, yes, we can do the external things, we can make sure that we relax, etc. But if what's going on inside of us, and that includes all the aspects of health, right, including our mental health, if those things are not taken care of, then we'll be in problems.
Yeah, 100%. How damaging is it when we don't take care of ourselves, like medically?
Yeah, so, you know, just in general, and this is around the world, not necessarily just in Trinidad, people, this is a general statement, I generally go to the doctor or go to their general practitioner or whatever when something's wrong.
Yeah.
And, okay, of course, for some people, it's included on your insurance, and so okay, let's just do this every year. But then there are other things that maybe insurance doesn't cover that you actually do need to check on, and if it's not like in your head on a regular basis or maybe on a checklist, it's going to get forgotten about. So specifically in my field, in women's health, we try as much as possible to advocate for breast screenings as well as cervical screenings, which is the pap smear. And it's really, really important to make sure that you're up to date with those things. Of course, like even if there's no family history of cancer, because now more and more we're seeing it pop up in young people and even with people with no family history.
Yeah, how prevalent is that in Trinidad and Tobago?
It's quite prevalent. So both breast cancer and cervical cancer are leading causes of death in our country. But so and also thankfully we have relatively good screening programs in place, and of course with awareness months and the health advocacy that we see from different organizations, people are becoming more and more aware.
Right.
But it's still, women's health in general is still not talked about enough. And so no matter who you are, whoever is listening, if you're not a woman, it's important for you to know, because you must have a woman in your life.
Yeah.
We all came from a mother. We all have friends, family members that are women, and sometimes those conversations need to be had, because it's like everything else is being spoken about, but just in general, for years and years and years, women are forgotten about. And so, of course, as women, it's important for us to speak out for ourselves,
Yeah.
but also that we encourage each other,
Yeah.
even if it's scary.
Yeah, I think that's one of my hesitations. Like nothing's wrong. You feel okay.
Absolutely.
You don't go to the doctor because what are the odds of you going and find out? Oh my God, something's wrong. But
Yeah.
but I think that it's a good practice in terms of like preventative care, right?
Absolutely. And that's exactly it. That is the phrase, preventative care, making sure that we, even if there's something going on, that we catch it before it even has the chance to turn into something more sinister, but also ensuring that everything is going right at this point in time.
Yeah, I'm guilty of not prioritizing doctor's visits unless something's wrong. You don't feel well, you just like, okay, right. And for a number of reasons sometimes.
Yeah.
And I know for many people it's a cost.
Yeah,
There's a cost
absolutely.
involved. But I love how, like you're mentioning, specific to women's health, there are so many things available. So it's good that we have access to these things. I mean,
Absolutely.
there are some countries they don't.
Absolutely. And I'm not sure if people know this who are listening, and you yourself as well. In every single health center, you can get a pap smear done. So you can get a pap smear done in the health center for free at any point in time.
Okay, and is it like a walk-in situation?
So different clinics, So most times you have to go in and make an appointment, or call ahead and make an appointment, or figure out which day they're doing the pap smears, and then you just go in and get it done.
Okay, all right. And how important is that? I want to kind of zone in on that a bit. I mean,
Yeah.
I know it in terms of preventative care and stuff like that, but how important is it that we get that done routine every year?
Yeah.
Every year, right?
So it depends on your age group.
Okay.
So actually, generally, and it depends on a few things. So if you've had an abnormal pap smear in the past, it sometimes reduces the time in between pap smears.
Okay.
But generally, so I actually pulled up the guidelines here. So from 21 to 29, generally every 3 years, 30 to 65, also 3 years, but depending on like if you have a HPV positive test in between, they may want to do other things. And then if you've had an abnormal pap smear in between, there are other things that we can do. So which is why it's really a really important test. So in case anyone didn't know, the pap smear actually checks for precursors to cervical cancer, right? And it's actually very possible to treat those things before it becomes cancer. So we can actually do an in-office procedure called colposcopy, where we take a camera and look at the cervix, which is the mouth of the womb, and also we can also get rid of the cells, the abnormal cells right there. And so after a colposcopy, if you've had an abnormal pap smear, you may have to do another one, of course, like about 6 months after, and depending on your provider and other things going on, they may need to see you more regularly. But in general, we're actually able to get rid of anything that's abnormal before it progresses to cancer, which is why the pap smear is so important.
And the breast exam, how often?
Yeah, so again, depending on your age and if you've had any kind of abnormal ones in the past, depending on your age, you may need to get an ultrasound as well as a mammogram, or just an ultrasound. And also it depends on your symptoms and the signs. So of course, all of these things are in conjunction with your provider. And I like to tell everyone this, as well as my patients, just to make sure that you have a provider that you're comfortable with. So if it is that they're not listening to your concerns, you don't feel heard, and they're not taking you on, it's probably a good idea to find someone else that
you feel comfortable with.
Because you should not walk away from a doctor's office feeling any kind of shame, or feeling that you haven't been heard, and feeling like, okay, well, what's next? Why haven't I actually gotten my problem dealt with? Yeah. So, and of course, in the public system, it's a little bit different. But you can also, if someone has disrespected you, you can ask for a different doctor. But of course,
in the public health system.
Yeah. Okay. But that's a whole public health system is a whole other conversation, because we deal with a lot of things in the public health system, and things that people generally don't know about or care to think about. And so I do like to also advocate on behalf of my fellow physicians and other medical staff, because everyone gets it, right? From the pharmacist to the ENA and the PCA that's helping the patients. But we all deal with things, and we have to give people grace. But a lot of people don't know what goes on the other side of healthcare,
again, we're often the ones, the patients. So
yeah,
we're
absolutely.
From one space. And I mean, people have reasons for, bad experiences and stuff like that in the public health. You hear it all the time.
Yeah.
You see people posting.
Yeah, but then, the thing is that we don't get to share our side. We're not allowed to.
Exactly.
And of course, there's confidentiality, but there's also certain clauses within contracts that you're really not allowed to say anything about the RHA. And I mean, obviously, it's not fair to us, but it's our duty, so we do it anyway, right? So yeah, just that's always my plug. Be kind to your service providers, because you never know what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, 100%.
That was a segue. Sorry.
No, I think it's a good segue, because again, you said, like you mentioned, we often see things from one perspective, but you're right. Mm-hmm. I have friends. I hear the stories too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. But we're going to go to a short break. When we come back, we continue this discussion on self-care. Don't go anywhere.
Woman of Promise is back. The Grand Reset with our new host, Renata Singh.
Hey, it's your girl Renata, and you can join me and my special guests every Tuesday from 12:15 to 1 p.m. as we touch on issues that impact women of all ages, from knowing your worth and identity in Christ, fostering godly relationships, beauty, fashion, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and more. And of course, we bring a biblical perspective to every discussion.
It's Woman of Promise, the Grand Reset, every Tuesday from 12:15 to 1 p.m. on Isaac 98.1 FM. Woman of Promise is sponsored by Acropolis Medical Center, Furniture Plus, and Extra Foods.
$350,000 unsecured from GMMB for home repairs, trips, or gifts, and no loan repayments until February next year. Plus, you could win groceries, home decor, and more. GMMB, fixing you up for real this Christmas.
It's Black Friday every day at Furniture Plus. Get up to 70% off in-store and online. Shop unbelievable deals on furniture, appliances, mattresses, and more. Pay 0 installments for 90 days on credit plans. Shop now and save big at Furniture Plus.
At Acropolis Medical Center, we are deliberate in ensuring that good health is your foundation to a better life. For over 10 years, we've delivered compassionate care, medical excellence, and community support. From consultations to specialized services, everything you need is at one convenient, one-stop location. Whether it's your health, your family, or your organization, our team is here to help you live life well. Call 657-3356, WhatsApp 488-6463, or visit 99B Circular Road, San Fernando. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Acropolis Medical Center. Acropolis Medical Center. Live life well.
To Women of Promise. I'm Renata Singh, and I'm here with Dr. Meagan Mohammed. We're talking self-care. Dr. Meagan,
Yes.
So you wanted to tell us a bit more about what, in terms of cancer screening, right?
Yeah. So we just came out of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and and just in general, not everyone knows this, but through the Cancer Society of Trinidad and Tobago, there are tests that are available at a subsidized cost. So in case you've been putting it off, maybe because of the cost, or you don't want to wait in public, you can call them or go to them directly, and they'll be able to help you.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's in addition to the screenings that's available in the public health system.
Absolutely. Because you can, in general, of course, in all of the health centers, there's like a walk-in day, and also there are chronic disease days. Every day is a different thing, and based on your health center, they'll have a different schedule. And so definitely, if you are looking to, just prioritize your health a little bit more and make sure that everything is going well, go to your nearest health center, get accustomed to the schedule, find out what you need to do, and get in there.
But beyond women's health specifically,
Sure.
How often should we really be going to the doctor for a general checkup?
Yeah, I mean, it depends, right? It depends on a lot of things, because not necessarily does someone without a medical condition need to go every single year. However, depending on maybe, because a lot of things can change in a year, it is a good idea to have a doctor's visit at least once a year, which is why that's recommended with insurance companies, etc. But for some people, it's a lot shorter than that, because it's gonna, if you have diabetes, for example, your doctor may want to see you every 3 to 6 months, depending on how your control is. If it's hypertension and they're trying to taper your medication, it's gonna be a little closer until you are getting some regular values, and they can say, okay, let's see you in 6 months. Okay, then we can go on to a year, etc.
Yeah.
So it really depends on what's going on with you.
Case by case.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And that's why it's important, I'm hearing, it's important to have that conversation with your doctor. Find out how often. And usually most doctors will tell you. When you visit, they'll be like, okay, I want to see you back XYZ time.
Yeah, and especially if you have specific concerns, they can help address it at different visits so that it's not overwhelming in one. Because especially when someone comes and, okay, let's say they haven't been to the doctor in 5 years, and they say they go on to list all the problems that they've had for the last 5 years. It's impractical, right? It's not, and it's not possible to deal with everything in one visit, especially when there are other patients, right? So especially along with your doctor, they will advise, okay, well, let's tackle these things for now, and then maybe come back in a month or 2 or 3 months, and we'll deal with the next set. And what are the most important things now, and then whatever else we'll deal with at another time.
Yeah, I mean, for persons listening, feel free to send us some WhatsApps if you have a
Yeah.
question.
Please.
Dr. Meagan, or you just want to chime in on the conversation. How do you take care of yourself? How often do you visit the doctor? Do you visit the doctor at all? I
Yeah.
feel like after this conversation, I need to get on the phone
I
and
can
make an appointment.
give you some recommendations.
Hi, doctor, I need to come see you. No,
Yeah.
I deal with the fear side of things.
And
because-
what has the Lord given us?
Exactly.
Not a spirit of fear.
Exactly. But yeah.
But and that's a really big thing, especially as Christians. I've heard many people say lots of different things about why they're not going, or and I, as a doctor who's a Christian, of course I believe in God. I believe in the God of miracles, but I also believe that God gave us all of this. He gave us medicine, he gave us doctors, he gave us nurses, he gave us everyone that can help you in the medical field. And of course there are lovely natural things that are present, but he gave us a brain, and he gave us wisdom and knowledge, and we've been able to do all of this lovely research and learn so much about the body. Up to today, we are still discovering new things that we never knew. There's science continues to try to catch up with God because because we still don't understand the basics of, like, even how an embryo implants into the uterus. Like, they're now discovering how that really has happened, and it's honestly, like, being a doctor has increased my faith, right? But so when I hear people talk about different things, I haven't faith that everything is okay, that's actually not really faith, because you're ignoring it, right? So actually going to find out is the faith step. Right, and then dealing with it head on, because of course, like, once we know what's going on, we can deal with it, right? But and so yeah, of course there are lots of different attitudes about health, but I do firmly believe that God gave us all of this so that we can use it, right?
Yeah, 100%. Like you said, faith. Going to the doctor is not opposed to our faith. This body that God gave us, we have a responsibility to keep it healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said that, right. So yeah, 1 Corinthians 6:19-20. Don't you realize that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit who lives in you and was given to you by God? You are not your own. You're bought at a price. Therefore, honor God with your body. And that includes, of course, many things, right? It includes tangible and non-tangible. But that is a clear indication that God cares about how we keep ourselves, right?
100%.
Yeah.
And health. We need to prioritize. We as women need to prioritize ourselves. We need to prioritize our health, because if this body is no good, we can't be effective. We can't. We just can't operate in the way that He wants us to.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
I think that's a good segue to go into mental health. So now, as believers, and just in general, it's still, mental health in general in society is still kind of taboo to talk about.
It is.
It's not like, and I'm so thankful that now more and more people are talking about it.
Yes.
But especially when, and of course, so this is Woman of Promise. Of course, all of these things can be said about both men and women, but specifically for women, we experience things so differently compared to men, right? Even, and like I said, science is now catching up, right? So we are in the last few years realizing, well, I'd say like 5 to 10 years, realizing that women experience different symptoms to men in for example, with heart attacks. They experience different symptoms. And yeah, that's something that is being talked about a lot now, because women are realizing that most of this research was done on men, and so we, like I said, we've been trying to catch up. So in the last 20 years or so, we've been seeing pushes with actual research that differentiate the way that women and men experience different health conditions, and that is very sobering to think. right? And then also, men will never experience postpartum, right? And postpartum is another huge topic, and so as believers, yes, absolutely, like, run to Jesus, let him be your absolute shield and strength and rock. But when you need the help, go. Yeah. And okay, if you feel like you need a Christian therapist or psychiatrist or whatever, there are many, right? And so there's really no shortage of that, especially in our country where we are open to practice our faith, thank God. But yeah, so like I'm gonna share a vulnerable story. So I've been a Christian as long as I can remember, and I'm so thankful for the personality that God gave me, and I'm very joyful, and I'm very happy, and people will look at me and they will say, "Oh, you're such a ray of sunshine," kind of thing, right?
I can see that.
Thank you, bubbly, extroverted, right? And so I'm so thankful for that, but there's another side to that. Like, even though I might be feeling like this, when I'm alone with myself, there's all of the things that have to play out, right? And so after working in public health for 2 years, well, it was more than 2 years, but I was specifically in Port of Spain General for 2 years in the obstetrics and gynecology department. After I left so I could study to do exams, and when I was actually alone and like didn't have to go to work every day, it was just like a massive rush of down, and it took me by surprise, and I was in a very low period for a few weeks, and my parents travel a lot for ministry, and so I was actually alone for like most of the 3 weeks, and I really felt depressed, and I was like, what is this, Lord? Where is this coming from? And it just, like, it made me process.
Right.
So specifically, of course, this is specific to me as a doctor, and this is also a little bit of insight into what the doctors in the public healthcare system deal with on a regular basis, which is why I say give us grace. I had to process all the micro and macro traumas that we deal with every single day.
Yeah.
That we're expected to just power through, right? And that's not normal.
No.
Right? We cannot agree that that's not normal.
I mean, y'all are still human.
Yeah, exactly. and they kind of teach us to set it aside, but it's impossible because we are human beings and we feel. And especially in women's health, where we literally journey through some women's pregnancies their entire time, because particularly in hospital, not sure if everyone knows this, but you don't go to the antenatal clinic in hospital unless you're a high-risk pregnancy. All the low-risk pregnancies go to the health center, but all high-risk pregnancies come to us. So as soon as, let's say, for example, basic example, you've had a previous C-section. As soon as you want to come to the hospital, well, to a clinic, you book with us, and we see you your entire pregnancy. And so we deal with these women the entire time. And I was there as an intern, and then I went into COVID work, and then I was there for 2 years, and I witnessed so many pregnancies, right? And some had some really heartbreaking outcomes, and then, so I was there and really wondering what was happening, and realized that I did not process these things, and also that they don't care to tell us that we have resources available. Yeah, so I was also hurt by that,
Right.
because there are people that are suffering
Yeah.
everywhere, but even the people who are taking care of you. And so that was difficult for me, but thank God, like, I was able to lean on my friends and family for support. I even talked through some things with some people in mental health, and I was able to process it. Thank God that
And
I
sometimes
had
you
that.
need that extra. You need that support.
Absolutely.
I think that's
we can't do it on our own. We were never meant.
Self-care.
We were never meant to.
On your
Yeah.
own, and I'm kind of similar to you.
Yeah.
I'm fine when I'm around people, but when you get in those alone moments, you start to process things in a different way, sometimes in unhealthy ways too, like your mind just keeps going.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it helps if you're feeling burdened or overwhelmed, overstimulated even, to have someone to talk to. It could be a close friend, it can be a leader, somebody you look up to, or if you don't have those things, there are persons you can seek counsel.
Yeah. And and you brought up a great point. That's why community is so important. So if you get into one, you know, and community doesn't just mean going to church, right? Because you could be going to church every week and have no community.
Yep.
Right? So
And it takes some measure of intentionality. So you don't just
absolutely.
it doesn't just happen overnight either.
Yeah.
So if you're in a space and you're looking to build, start with one person, two persons,
Yeah.
try to connect, get to know people. That's how it happens. I had this conversation with someone recently who was like, I just, I have that longing for community, but like I'm in the space, but I don't feel like I have it yet. And I'm like, it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
It takes time to build to that degree. And guess what? You're not going to build with 50 people.
Yeah,
That's not
absolutely.
just practical,
Yeah.
You may have 50 people around,
Yeah.
but they may not necessarily be in your inner circle.
Yeah,
the
you
ones
need
that
your
would
core.
Be vulnerable
Exactly.
will be able to open up with. And be guarded with that too. Like, don't go sharing
sure.
your business with,
Yes.
with everybody.
Wisdom and everything.
Wisdom and everything. But 100%, I'm so glad that you brought that up. Community is absolutely important. That support system.
Yeah.
If you have family that you're able to lean on for that, that's wonderful. If you don't, you have friends outside of that, your church family. There's so many different areas that we can look to get that support.
Yeah.
Because we need it, absolutely need it.
Yeah, and as you said, intentionality, something that, of course, on the more surface level, I'm trying to improve my skin a little bit, and so I have to be disciplined with my skincare routine.
Right.
So, and that is a huge way that I am taking care of myself, because I know that once I am more confident with my skin, I'll feel more confident in general, right? Thank God I understand who I am in Christ, and this does not matter, but I also want to look my best self, right? And I want to take care of myself in an intentional way. So right now I'm trying this particular product, and I actually have a reminder on my phone to do it every other day,
Right.
so that I don't miss it. And because
consistency.
exactly. So I'm trying, and that's hard, especially as women, when we have everything else to see about. Even if you're a single woman, we fill our lives, right? We fill our lives with lots of things, and then there's family members that call on us, etc., right? And even if you're single, you have your niece, your nephew, your cousin, whatever, right? There's just always things that fill up our lives. So if we're not intentional about actually making time for ourselves and maybe putting a schedule. Maybe that's what you have to do to get it done. For me and my
do what you need
for my
to do to
brain.
get it done.
Yeah. For my brain, I need the reminder.
I don't know. I'm terrible at. That's why people ask, do you take vitamins? I'm like, I probably have the hope of the vitamins are there.
Yeah.
But actually doing it every day.
Yeah,
is a
I
whole
had
different
to
story.
start putting mine next to my bed. So as I wake up, I'm like, okay.
That makes sense. And I was talking about our tanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Tanks
It's the first
I
thing you
hope
see.
Anybody listening that have problems taking vitamins on a routine, that's a good step. But even skincare, like you buy stuff and you're like, yes, I'm gonna take care of myself. You start off 1, 2, 3 days, and then you're like, slowly it becomes every other day.
Exactly. And then think of how many things you have in your house that you're not using, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And then things go to waste, and we waste money, and we're not being good stewards, etc., etc. So.
But the thing about it is, like your skin, right? When you start using these products and stuff like that, it takes a while before you can see
Exactly. Which is why we need the
results.
discipline.
Exactly, and patience too.
Yeah.
We need to be consistent. We need to be patient.
Absolutely.
We
need
want
Jesus.
Results, yeah, in that regard, we definitely do. I know I do.
Yeah, and we might think that things that are trivial to the Lord, but it's not. And specifically in my life, God has just shown me so many times that He cares about the little things, and maybe I thought He didn't, and so He needed to show me that. Yeah. And there was so many times where I was like, Lord, I didn't need this. I really didn't need this, but you gave it to me anyway. Thank you so much, because that just shows me how much you love me. And so really, as we journey through life and as we take care of ourselves, it's really God is taking care of us. The Lord is who's looking out for us. He knows what we need before we even say it or think it. And so, if you feel like you're stuck, if you feel like you don't know what's going on, and why can't I actually take care of myself? Why do I feel like I'm running on empty? Give that to the Lord, and in that moment, submit your flesh to Him, because that's where we get transformation, right? That's where we actually can see God working in our lives, when we are saying, okay, Lord, I give it to you.
Yeah, 100%. But Guys, we're going to go to another short break. When we come back, we continue this discussion and wrap up actually on self-care.
Women of Promise is back. The Grand Reset with our new host, Renata Singh.
Hey, it's your girl Renata, and you can join me and my special guests every Tuesday from 12:15 to 1 p.m. as we touch on issues that impact women of all ages, from knowing your worth and identity in Christ, fostering godly relationships, beauty, fashion, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and more. And of course, we bring a biblical perspective to every discussion.
It's Women of Promise, the Grand Reset, every Tuesday from 12:15 to 1 p.m. on Isaac 98.1 FM. Women of Promise is sponsored by Acropolis Medical Center, Furniture Plus, and Extra Foods.
JMB makes wishes come true with a long to fix up everything brand new. So gather your dreams, let the magic in. With a JMB loan, you're set to win.
Get a loan up to $350,000 unsecured from GMMB for home repairs, trips, or gifts, and no loan repayments until February next year. Plus, you could win groceries, home decor, and more. GMMB, fixing you up for real this Christmas.
It's Black Friday every day at Furniture Plus. Get up to 70% off in-store and online. Shop unbelievable deals on furniture, appliances, mattresses, and more. Pay 0 installments for 90 days on credit plans. Shop now and save big at Furniture Plus.
At Acropolis Medical Center, we are deliberate in ensuring that good health is your foundation to a better life. For over 10 years, we've delivered compassionate care, medical excellence, and community support. From consultations to specialized services, everything you need is at one convenient, one-stop location. Whether it's your health, your family, or your organization, our team is here to help you live life well. Call 657-3356, WhatsApp 488-6463, or visit 99B Circular Road, San Fernando. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Acropolis Medical Center. Acropolis Medical Center. Live life well.
I'm here with Dr. Meagan. Dr. Meagan, we're talking about self-care. We're about to wrap up the conversation, but I want to talk, before we wrap the conversation, about those hormonal changes that us as women go through.
Yes. Another thing that we need to give to the Lord, honestly.
Tell me about it.
But, you know, I have been, in the last 2 years or so, I have been reading so much about all of the really good natural things that are good for our hormones as women.
Right.
And the medical community is also learning that. So whereas back in the day, if you went to a gynecologist with PCOS, they say, okay, well, the pill for you, and that's it.
Yeah.
Now more and more we're realizing that it has a lot to do with your diet, and it has a lot to do with certain naturally occurring substances that the Lord gave us to heal ourselves. And so it's a discussion, right? So if you feel like you are suffering with hormonal issues and any kind of imbalance, or you know something is wrong, that's another thing. Like, of course, an aspect of self-care is being in tune with your body, right? Actually trusting yourself to know that, okay, something is not right here, something is going a little off. Let me go ahead and see about it. And having that discussion with your provider, again, someone who will listen to you and care about what you have to say. And yeah, a discussion and see how maybe like incorporating this thing into your diet might change over a few months. Again, it's not going to be instant, but really the big factor here is going to someone who cares about what you have to say and journeying through that difficult time with you. There are many different kinds, right? Because we're talking about hormone imbalance as well as all the way up to perimenopause and menopause. And it's a difficult time to navigate because, again, like I said, medicine is still catching up to try to figure these things out. But there are many options available. So it's really just finding a provider that you trust, that you care, that you can see cares about you and wants to help you.
Don't ignore the signs, even if you think it's subtle. It's good to just go check. I love how you brought up that point about diet. Because I feel like that's something we don't.
Yeah.
We'd be like, okay, let me go to a doctor.
Yeah.
They'll give me this pill or whatever to take, and I'll be fine. But there's so much that we can do on our own.
And there are lots of online communities where you see all the different things that have worked for other women, and then, okay, let me try this. And it's honestly, sometimes you have to be your own, be your own advocate, but also you have to be your own little experimental person and say,
proactive.
like, let me try doing this one. And then, okay, if this doesn't work, let me try the other one. And if you're really determined to figure it out and to feel better, then you'll do it, So
You may even, try some new foods that you don't.
maybe you didn't like I never used to like okra, and I had to grow up, and I'd been starting to have okra water because it's really good for your diet and skin. So I started to have that a week ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Only a week.
Yeah, a week.
Do you like it now?
Yeah, it actually tastes really good. Like okra water, like you just chop it up and put in water,
My sister uses that.
and it tastes just like water. With a little, it's
Okay.
really not bad.
Okay.
And if you don't like the taste, you can add some pineapple in there.
Ooh, I never heard about that one. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. So you soak it just like overnight,
Mhm.
the pineapple as well?
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're cutting it up and stuff like that.
Yeah, because God gave us all these amazing things in the earth that actually are good for us. So
Yeah, and we're underutilizing. Clearly. Wow, okay. I know a lot of okra water is a big thing these days.
yeah.
They use it for what? Is it diabetes or something like that?
So there are lots of health benefits, but it's actually not necessarily with like someone who is diabetic, but it's actually for people to help regulate their blood sugars so that they won't become diabetic.
Okay, makes sense.
So of course anything that you want to introduce new into your routine, consult your physician to see.
100%.
Because I did see that it can affect diabetes medication, just as a side note.
Yeah.
But it's for general life and
Yeah. So in
being
your
good for
trying and utilizing those online communities, please do so under the care and watch of your
Exactly.
physician.
Yeah.
But Dr. Meagan, we're almost out of time here. It has
Yeah.
been such a pleasure having you. Do you have any closing words?
Yes, I have a Bible verse. So 3 John 1:2. I pray that you may enjoy good health and that all may go well with you, even as your soul is getting along well. So we see all throughout Scripture. There's so many other verses I could have said, but all throughout Scripture, God cares about how we feel, about how we live, about our temple, right? And He lives in us, so we should take care of it. So that's my closing words.
Taking care of it is our responsibility, and so that's why we found it fit to have this discussion on self-care. I hope you guys learned something. I know I did. I know I'm definitely going to have to go see my doctor now.
Yeah, it's a good reminder. It's a good reminder for me too. So anytime I have these conversations, it's like, practice what you preach. Practice what you preach, Meagan.
Yep, agreed. But guys, it has been such a pleasure connecting with you guys. I'll catch up with you all next week, Tuesday, same time, same place.
Women of Promise is back. The Grand Reset with our new host, Renata Singh.
Hey, it's your girl Renata, and you can join me and my special guests every Tuesday from 12:15 to 1 p.m. as we touch on issues that impact women of all ages, from knowing your worth and identity in Christ, fostering godly relationships, beauty, fashion, maintaining a healthier lifestyle, and more. And of course, we bring a biblical perspective to every discussion.
It's Women of Promise, the Grand Reset, every Tuesday from 12:15 to 1 p.m. on Isaac 98.1 FM. Women of Promise is sponsored by Acropolis Medical Center, Furniture Plus, and Extra.